A longtime resident of the Grand Riviere community, John Mitchell, says more needs to be done to deter criminals. His comments come against the backdrop of a double homicide a few yards away from his home.
On Monday, St. Lucia recorded a double homicide in the community of Grand Riviere, which took the island's homicide tally to date to 47. Shem Augustine and Darian Degazon took their final breaths 2 houses away from the residence of longtime resident of Grand Riviere, John Mitchell. Mitchell explained that this is the second shooting death near his doorstep in as many as 3 years. He says he believes that more needs to be done by authorities, not just to preserve the neighborhood, but also the lives of the youth.
A guy was shot, almost execution style, right here. And well, we have heard the other one, the other 2 shot as well. The only thing we can do at this point is ask for more police surveillance or cameras to detect the would-be criminals. If we allow it, as the place gets more progressive, good roads make it easier for the criminals to do their act and slide out quickly. So we need probably some kind of deterrent.
Mitchell says despite the last few violent occurrences, the neighborhood is known to be relatively peaceful. He says while CCTVs seem to be the talk around to help deter criminal activity, it is not a cheap feat, and that is where the government comes in.
Does not make it a facility that the average person can afford. The system is expensive, and the guy who can almost not give himself a good meal ain't going to worry about cameras. Government might have to step in and not only 100% concession, but see how the profit by the merchants, the suppliers, are minimized to allow it to be affordable.
Mitchell says criminals are witty and some of them will employ all tricks to get them access to what they want.
If you are going to do an illegal act and you know you would be spotted, you would think twice. The murderer is even smarter than you when it comes to protecting his own self. That's his profession. With good roads, good facilities, crime will rise.
Many communities around St. Lucia have employed their own neighborhood watch groups. Mitchell says such incidents called for heightened security in all areas. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Janice Gonzalez.
Residents of White Rock, Grand Riviere were very vocal during the initial renovation of their roads. Now that the stretch of road is complete, Hot 7 TV revisited the community. Residents say all that is left to do is to implement proper structures to deter motorists from speeding.
For months, residents of the White Rock Grand Riviere community agitated for authorities to make good on their promise of rehabilitating their road. Residents initially complained about dust and cement entering their homes and affecting their breathing. The Ministry of Infrastructure has made good on the promise and the road has been paved. One of the residents who led the charge and was very vocal when it came to how the unpaved roads affected the community, John Mitchell, on Wednesday told Hot 7 that though the road is completed, there is now a greater need for speed bumps and other deterrents for drivers who speed along the roads.
It is a great concern to us because sometime, not too long from now, if it's not given attention, we will be called to pick up the mess of a body or bodies that will be killed on that road. Something absolutely has to be done, and it's a request I have made for many years, and it has become even more necessary thanks to the nylon road they gave us, but if something is not done about it. We simply have requested speed bumps. Anything that will prevent the drivers from knowing that they would have to change parts in the vehicle, let it be.
Another resident, Herbert Augustine, echoed Mitchell's sentiments for speed breakers and expressed elation at the roads finally being completed.
We are very happy as residents of the community. The road is very nice now, and we even name here after the road fix like a city because we are fully satisfied. But the thing that we need now, we want the government to put first is the speed bumps and pedestrian crossing because we having some drivers, they don't know what they're doing. They take here like a racetrack. And if they can resolve that first, we'll be very happy.
Mitchell, however, explained that he is satisfied that the road is complete as he can now relax and come out into his balcony without being haunted by dust.
After the initial torture of dust, which lasted about 2 months or so, I think they have cooperated in every way. They have attempted as best as was humanly possible to at least meet some of my needs in reducing the dust level by first putting a light surface on it. The sidewalk is still a little unfinished, but that too, they have been very cooperative. So generally, I think the contractors saw what the initial error was, and they did their very best to sort of make us a happy set of residents, and they did a good job, I must confess.
Residents say they are hopeful that the ordeals that they had to endure are noted and used as examples for other road projects that will be undertaken. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzalez.
While the holiday season may look very different in 2020, St. Lucia is keeping its Christmas traditions alive on social media with a special 12-day celebration of its distinctive and signature customs. The St. Lucia Tourism Authority has teamed up with the Folk Research Center and the Cultural Development Foundation to bring what they dub 12 Days of Christmas, Lucian style.
The 12 Days of Christmas in St. Lucia will feature practices that span centuries and are still widely enjoyed during the holiday season. Public Relations Manager of the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, Jermaine Georges, says the virtual celebrations will follow St. Lucia's National Day on December 13th.
Over the 12-day period from the 14th to the 25th of December, via Travel St. Lucia Facebook and Instagram, what we are going to do is to bring to you all the traditions such as the masquerade, the Christmas folk chant, solo dancing, the popular bamboo bursting, house to house, Sewinal, baking of the St. Lucian black cake, the Christmas decorating, Festival of Lights, Festival of Carols, Christmas Creole, and the Asu Square. All of these will be done virtually in keeping with the protocols outlined by the health authorities. Of course, we know that the mixing and the mingling right now is pretty much not what is being observed in light of health.
Those on island during the Christmas season are encouraged to join the fun every day from December 14th to 25th, 2020 by checking the Travel St. Lucia posts on Facebook and Instagram.
So in keeping with the traditions and in ensuring that our St. Lucians, both here and in the diaspora, as well as our visitors, can get to really experience an authentic St. Lucian Christmas, we have decided to have this virtual traditional celebration that would keep everybody tuned in. So as much as many people who would want to come to St. Lucia at this time may not be able to travel, we're not only giving you a Christmas experience, but we're bringing it straight to your households or to your mobile devices on the go.
As part of new COVID-19 protocols which come into effect on December 15, up to 25 people are allowed on premises from December 15th to January 11th, 2021. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
The threat of the dengue virus has forged a communion among the government of St. Lucia, the citizenry, and local organizations. Fennell Neptune tells us more in this report.
The Ministry of Health, along with several stakeholder organizations, recently held a cleanup campaign in the town of Grosley. The campaign's aim is to raise awareness of the dengue outbreak in the community while reducing the spread of the vector-borne disease. Assistant Clerk of the Grosley Constituency Council, Kimberline McPhee, cites the recent rise in dengue infection rates as the catalyst for the initiative.
We felt the need to address the situation by taking on a massive cleanup of areas that are prone to breeding grounds and illegal dumping of garbage.
According to Environmental Health Officer Charlotte Charles, epidemiological analysis indicates a significant number of cases in the town of Grosley. Charles disclosed The current education campaign will extend to several other communities on the island.
We are hoping to replicate this very same activity in other communities because, of course, I know that we have experienced a fall in dengue cases. However, there is always a possibility that we can see that very high resurgence or spike in cases again. So it is imperative that we attack the mosquitoes from its source, from the root of the problem, and to get rid of these active and potential mosquito breeding sites. So we are looking to move into other communities to mobilize more of our St. Lucians and to get rid of as much as we can these mosquito breeding sites.
The campaign also hopes to encourage St. Lucian residents to undertake the cleaning of their communities to hamper mosquito breeding grounds. Reporting from the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, I am Fidel Neptune.
Stay with us. There's more news after the break.